honest, I think Kanye's on the spectrum. I was watching, once again, Yeezus again, and the way his mom would talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
I have my youngest son, he's 6, he has autism. It's a language, man. It's a way you have to talk. And I'm watching things she's saying, and I'm like, oh, wow. Which makes it even more fascinating to me that he was able to to even function and do all these great things. But I'm like, oh, that's why she was able to say certain. You think about it, she's the only one who been able to speak his language.
Mm-hmm. He lost his mother. You lost your mother at a young age.
Yeah.
Do you think he hasn't healed from that? Because he was very, very close to his mom.
I think, it's funny you say that. So I'll go to therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And it took years for me to do that. And I didn't realize how much, my mom died in 2009, but it was still affecting me this whole time. It wasn't until I had like a panic attack on my stairs one day, and I've never had one before. I was on my way to set and I couldn't stop crying. And my assistant came in and she was like, she could tell, and she'd been talking to me about going to therapy actually, which is interesting. I'm like, well, pull them up. Let me talk to somebody. And my first session was literally about how I really never mourned and got over my mother's death. And a lot of us go through that, not just Ye, and I hope she don't mind me even saying this with my good friend, Tiffany Haddish. She's one of my best friends. And we talked about this, and some of us tend to go busy, right? We go busy. We don't.
That's how you deal with it.
That's how we deal with it. And you're not dealing with it. You're not dealing with it.
Right.
And so for me, when she was just saying this, she was just talking about how she had to slow down and just deal with it. She thought her working would help. And it does. All it does is make you more tired, first of all.
Yes.
You physically, outside of mentally and spiritually, you're just tired now. Because now you're trying to make up for something that you can't make up for. And so when I went to, I had my first therapy session and we broke that down, and I didn't realize how damn, I'm still I was still trying to, I didn't give myself space to mourn.
Was it because you were so busy in the comic and the thing, and you're trying to grow your career that you didn't take time to mourn because you didn't feel like you had that? Because you say, I got to strike while the iron's.
Well, we say career, right? I think it's career, and I think it's blackness.
Okay.
I think it's black people. We've always been told to just
get over it, move on.
Push through it. You got to push through it, and which is fine. You should push through things. But it's okay to be hurt by somebody you extremely love.
Yes.
Being gone. When I look at Ye, and I remember telling somebody this a while ago, and I remember watching a documentary, and I had to pause it because I really got emotional because I started seeing his pain. I could relate to it. Damn, that brother's still hurting. And which is why you got to be careful who you let into your life too, man. And then when you're making all this money for people, they extremely don't care.
Right.
And I think Ye still goes through that a lot of the times. He's still lashing out at people who really care about him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because when you hurt, it doesn't matter. I mean, you take an animal that's hurt, you might be trying to help it. All it knows is hurt, and it's going to lash out, even though you're trying to get it the attention that it needs to get better.
Yeah.
So those people, as you mentioned, because he's hurt and he's dealing with what he's dealing with, he doesn't understand the people that's in his life that's actually trying to help him.
Cat says something I agree with, right? I don't understand how, if we saying somebody talking crazy, and we all got family members that talk hella crazy. Do we really pay attention to them? No. Do we take everything they say oh man, this is what we gonna take? No.
But they don't have the platform that he has.
But even though he has the platform,
they're not as influential as he is.
But is it really influencing anybody?
You see what happened when they took Yeezus off from Adidas?
Yeah.
So you tell me if that influence or not.
But here we go. They actually, but they took it away from him and then they needed him again.
Yeah.
You got to understand something. This is a person who know who they are. They know their business and they know what they had to offer. You know what I'm saying? And so because of that, as much as they we're done, these we're done with him. And then you see months later, well, we got to
sell the rest of the product.
Yeah, we got to give him this money anyway because we bought all the product. Yeah, so he know his business. I just think Ye, I think Ye just talk better in music. Sometimes I think he just makes songs stop talking regular.
How motivation is it to see him local become this global icon what he became.
Let me tell you something. That College Dropout album, I bought it with 4 other comedians, and we drove around listening to it. You know, no matter what, you know, Kanye said and done a lot of stuff since then. That College Dropout album for Chicago, like if you talk to other Chicago people who's, you know, stars or whatever, we always like, yo, that was like that person. We like, yo, he's a superstar.
Mm-hmm.
And he did it his way. He's an underdog. And then like, especially for like the nerd group, the backpack group, you know what I'm saying? You know, wearing your sweaters and, it was, man, it was life changing. One of my cars at that time, I used to call myself the Kanye of comedy. You know what I'm saying? Because I was so inspired by like, dude, he did it his way, his voice. He loved it so much that he like got in these rooms with Jay-Z. They had to show him love.
Right.
Like even when you watch the Yeezus documentary, The Last Dance and that documentary give me chills sometimes. Because I remember the moments, like I watched Last Dance.
You know where you were when you saw it.
And I know how it inspired me. And so I get goosebumps when I watch Yeezus and I see Kanye when he paid for his first video, the Through the Wire video. And you see D-Ray in the video. You see Harold's Chicken in the video. You see, it's so Chicago. And it's #1 on 106 in Park. And it's the most localist video you could ever do. But around the world, it's the #1 video.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I was inspired by